Hear me out. Generally, homophobia. What do I think about homophobia? I kind of think
Is a topic that I know that a lot of us want to talk about, but we just don't want to talk about it.
I can't even recall a day I came out to say, "Oh, this is what I like. That is not what I don't like." Funniest part is that people just see like a photo of you. You've not even moved. They're actually cursing you the fuck out based on whatever they think is going on in their head. They say nasty and vulgar things like, they don't bust this one. They don't do that one. That these are things people do. Like people just automatically love you, lust over you, or dislike you and want you dead just because of.
If in your head you feel like you're a guy, but you're a babe in your body, you have to mentally.
Believe me, parents teach their children to be homophobic, to dish hatred, to say nasty things to people who present themselves in a different way. Do you think that for children who are exposed to like LGBTQ education, like in nursery and primary, do you think that could in one way or the other influence their sexuality?
Yes, it can.
I disagree.
And I'll tell you how.
Hey people, welcome back to a brand new episode of Just My POV. Just the last week were millennials coming at us for having like main character energy. Like, sorry, we love ourselves.
Self-love or self-delusion, please. Anyways, if you guys missed it, make sure that you go watch it. Now let's get into today's topic. Today's topic is a nice blend of, should I say, it has a lot of sense and small violence, not too crazy.
Something like that.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's a topic that I know that a lot of us want to talk about, but we just don't want to talk about it. But right here on Just My POV, we talk about everything and we share it with you guys so that, you can get a bit more insight. So let's head on straight into it.
Right.
This one is a big question that a lot of parents have been complaining about, but I just want to ask it since we're both young and, just to get what you think about it. So, do you think that LGBTQ education is okay in kindergarten or like nursery schools?
I think it's fair. I
What's
think it's
fair?
fair that everybody on earth gets to be informed about certain things, especially topics related to like the LGBTQ, right? But at the same time, I feel like specific pieces of information shouldn't be given to people, like people in like nursery school, primary school. I mean, because even those of us who eventually find out about our sexuality is really never when you are 2 years old, 3 years old. There's no way you have
So-
like a sexual feeling. Like it's usually when you're experiencing you're like at your puberty stage, if you understand what I mean.
So, is it a yes or no?
I think it's okay, right, for people in nursery to be taught to love one another regardless their differences. And this has nothing to do with whether you are attracted to a man or a woman.
But isn't that like CRK?
Yeah,
question
because
is-
part of it is love. I don't think people in nursery should be taught LGBTQ education.
That's my
Primary,
simple question.
maybe. Primary, maybe.
That's my simple
Yeah,
question.
primary, maybe.
Because I also personally I feel like that isn't the time to introduce sexual urges and
Yeah.
desires. That isn't the period. At that time, when you're playing with your colleagues or like your friends, you're not trying to say, "Ooh, I'm getting aroused." At that point, that's not in your mind.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
And if you don't teach sex education to infants or kindergarten or nursery students, why are you trying to teach LGBTQ education then at the same time? it's kind of contradictory. But before we even go too far into it, let me just highlight what LGBTQ is, plus is. So it's an acronym that represents lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer individuals, with the plus signifying other sexual orientations and gender identities within the community. It's a term used to encompass a wide range of identities beyond the traditional categories of heterosexual and cisgender. Now, knowing this, it's kind of like you know that your kids haven't grown into puberty where they already have these sexual desires, but then you're introducing them into this other pattern of desire without introducing them into the other one. So I think that is a very one-sided thing, and it really shouldn't be taught in kindergarten or anything. Maybe when they're like in secondary or like mature, when they start to have relationships, boyfriend and girlfriend, or start to have interest for the opposite sex or the same sex, then you can now say that at that time that you want to introduce it. I don't agree with that idea.
But the only reason why I think I say I agree is because, you know, just like every topic or like every subject that they introduce in schools, there's like a scheme, right? Introduction, and even the introduction is they dish out this information in a way that your brain is able to carry it. Do you understand? So I don't think letting little kids understand that, okay, there's this small boy, he acts like a girl. Well, you don't have to say it because, you know, there's a possibility that there's a possibility that. You know, you can never even really be sure because people's character dispositions really doesn't even determine their sexuality. But at the same time, at such a stage, believe me, parents teach their children to be homophobic, to dish hatred, to say nasty things to people who present themselves in a different way. So why would you rather promote hate as against promoting love and peace? So I feel like people in like the nursery school, even if you're going to introduce the topic as maybe LGBTQ education, things you should teach them there should be things like individuality, no bullying, respect.
That is
not
an LGBTQ.
That's the topic.
Yeah, that's
but
not
it
an
will be
LGBTQ
under
education.
LGBTQ.
No, it
education.
wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. Why would it be under that?
Because
when there's moral
if you ask
instruction,
me,
come on, there's moral
it's
instruction.
a part of it.
No,
you know?
it shouldn't be under that. First of all, I don't even know about any parents who are teaching their kids
to be hateful
to other kids. First of all, secondly, at that age, you don't even see the difference in whether the guy is doing girl or is doing. At that age, you're just playing with your friends. You just like your friends. You're just doing things.
Actually,
you're not really.
People don't even know.
It's the adults that go ahead to put those crazy ideas in the kids, it's all these adults that are trying to promote their own personal gain, because at that time you're not thinking about that. No parent comes and says, you know what, be wicked to all your classmates. No parent does that. It's all these other people that have ulterior motives, and that is why the idea of teaching LGBTQ education to infants is totally wrong. It's the wrong timing. And in as much as you're saying, that they should be taught love, there's moral instruction, there's social studies, there is PE. There are courses that really do teach that. Teaching LGBTQ is for you to arrange their mind into a pattern that is unacceptable and could be unacceptable to them as well when they grow older. Okay,
so that leaves me wondering, do you think that for children who are exposed to like LGBTQ education, like in nursery, and primary, do you think that could in one way or the other influence their sexuality?
Yes, it can.
I disagree.
And I'll tell you how.
Okay.
So like, for instance, if you have like a teacher that is teaching that course, and that teacher is so nice to you, you like the teacher because the teacher is nice, the teacher is always listening, you tend to take up a thing or two or pick up a thing or two from that teacher. It influences what you might like. But then when you now grow older, you might not realize, I didn't really like it. I just liked that my teacher. So I just emulated XYZ stuff from that teacher. Hence the reason that's not the right time. The right time is when the kids already can identify that, oh, this is what I'm into, or I've started to like this girl in my class. So you get, maybe that is now the good time to say, okay, so it's okay for you to feel like this, because there are some people who are your tribe who are also like this. But then trying to introduce it to a child that doesn't yet know whether you won't go like this, go left or go right, is kind of like you trying to steer their brain into a pattern that is favorable to you and not them.
Okay.
Give them the chance to figure out their lives.
So the reason I disagree is not because of it can't exactly influence them. I disagree because I feel like people's sexualities, people do not get to choose their sexuality at the end of the day. We're talking about even people who are like abused, right? And the reason I say this is because I just feel somewhere inside of me that sex is appealing or it's disgusting. Like, it either works for you or it does not. And that's the reason why, if people could choose, I feel like people who maybe are hated for their sexuality or something would easily just make a quick fix, you know? But then
like how?
I think, like, learn to be straight.
You can't
Because
learn to
the
be
world
straight.
hates you, you know. That's why I'm saying that it's not something you can learn, but I know that it's something that can unlock doors that should not have been opened at all.
So
because
hence,
you're
what's
going to
the
be
essence?
curious
What's the
about
essence of
if
teaching?
you're straight or not when you're so young.
So
you
what's
know?
the essence of teaching it if it can't be taught? That's why I said the timing.
That's why I said they
is
shouldn't
like-
teach them about anything sex related, but they can condition or tune their mind in a way that they are more accepting of other people who just behave different in their class.
They already do. Their kids. Kids don't.
Truly,
like,
they don't care
they
that
don't
much.
Care that
They don't care that much, actually.
So it's unnecessary. Like, so in my opinion, it's just
Yeah.
an ulterior motive and somebody just trying to play smart and trying to bring up, like, create more and more following for that community. There's no need for that. That community grew by itself, and nobody was teaching any education at the time when anybody even started that process. And it's still growing. It's just how you are when you eventually figure out your sexuality.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, they should just
scrap
not
it
teach
from
people
infants
who are younger.
and kindergarten and nursery.
Just
leave
save
that.
it for people in like secondary school.
Adolescents. Yeah, leave that.
Yeah, actually, because they finally have like the brain to process
To
the
manage
whole
it.
thing.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
just be telling somebody, oh, it's okay
feel
to
you.
like a guy when I never even begin like the guy.
You
Like, as
don't
a
even
guy.
like yourself.
Exactly. So
That's,
it's so
you know.
confusing. And it's also so confusing because, you know, you have these teachers that come in and they just want to dress how they want to dress and be identified how they want, and that's fine. That's them. But then you now come into school and then, you know, when you're teaching like A, B, C, you also teach boy and girl. Then in teaching that, the confusion is there already.
Oh, like when they have like non-binary
exactly,
teachers.
yeah.
Okay.
So the confusion is already there, and their brain is so little
Fragile
to start to be
understanding.
confusing them there. So
Yeah.
chill. When they've grown somehow, start to teach them the
teach
other
them.
things. It's kind of like the same way we all grew up to now figure out how to make money and how to work and what you learn in school.
Even people
So-
in the community are unable to even dissect a lot of this
exactly
information.
already as
It's
adults. How
so-
much more
it's
children?
It's a lot.
That's just crazy. Anyways.
Anyways.
You were gonna ask me another question, and I've been waiting for that question. But for some reason, we're here.
So I was gonna ask you what your general take on homophobia is. Like, what's your general take on homophobia? What do you think about homophobia? Do you think it's normal or natural for people to be homophobic?
It's very natural.
Do you think it's okay for people to be homophobic?
It's not okay,
what
but
do you
it's
think
natural.
about it generally?
It's not okay, but it's natural. It's a natural feeling that comes to you, especially because it is something that you do not understand, something that doesn't seem normal in our lives, coming from all the generations that we've come from all the way till here. It's here that we're trying to normalize, you know, homosexuality of any kind or queerness of any kind.
Yeah.
This is the time when we're trying to normalize it.
People
It's
are
been
trying
there,
to be more
yeah.
accepting.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
been there. So it's only natural for people to be like, or like squeeze their face or be like, I don't subscribe to that because it's something new. But I don't think that it is a good thing because every human being has the right to exist. However, they want to live their life. It's their personal life. It's their personal decision. It has nothing to do with you or me. It's not my punani. It's not my, you get me? It's none of my. So you can do whatever you want to do with your parts, with your body parts. You have every right to. And you also have the right to allow me to receive you in any way that I can receive you.
Receive them.
Yeah. So homophobia is natural, but it isn't okay. Because you cannot just say, oh, I hate this person, or I hate that person. But then this has now brought me to a thought that I've always been thinking about.
What's that?
And that is, I wonder why it is that, how you're a guy or you're a person. I'm a person. The things that make me who I am are a lot of things. Like my life story, my experiences, my talents, the way that I think.
That's what sums you up as a person.
That's what sums me up as a person, and you also at the same time. But I wonder why it is that homosexual or like the queer community want to be identified by their sexual kink or prowess.
You
or
see,
like,
that's what it is.
That's
okay,
where
so,
I'm just a little bit
so
like,
I don't know where to
that's
start
not
from.
right.
If I'm going to start from like discussing homophobia, or I will talk about this, but let me start from here, right? I feel like people in the world try to define you by whatever they think you're sleeping with, especially when you act different. Especially when you act different, because if I use me as an example, I can't even recall a day I came out to say, oh, this is what I like, that is not what I don't like. Funniest part is that people just see like a photo of you, you've not even moved. They're actually cursing you the fuck out.
Yeah, that happens
based
to
on
me
whatever
too.
they think is going on in their head. They say nasty and vulgar things like, they don't bust this one, this. They don't do that one, that. These are things people do. Like, people just automatically love you, lust over you, or dislike you and want you dead just because of the way they think you live your life. Do you understand? It's like if people could look at people for people, not who they might be under the sheets with, it would be better. But hear me out. Generally, homophobia, what do I think about homophobia? I kind of think is natural, right? I kind of think it's natural. But then I'm not supporting hate or anything, but I feel like for anybody who is not exactly queer, for like a straight person, a heterosexual man who is, doing his own thing, I feel it's okay for him to, disagree with people who are queer, right? And when I mean disagree, I mean like he just doesn't agree with who they might be getting laid with or whatever. It's normal. After all, you're straight. That's the reason you're straight. Things like that are supposed to irk you, right? But at the same time, you also don't have to agree with them. You also don't have to be in the same room with them. You don't have to. You might even hate them. It's okay. But there are better ways to manage the way you feel. You should be able to excuse yourself from such a gathering of people you do not like. Remember, these people do not have a problem with you. You have a problem with them. Right? So if they knew that, if there's like there are like 3 queer people walk into a gathering and they're like maybe mainly heterosexual men here, you might see them behave in some type of way so that they will notice their presence and probably they are irked by them. That's unnecessary.
Wait, hang on a minute. You said if they were like,
they're like if
3 straight guys,
queer guys,
queer
walk
guys
into a gathering where
yeah.
there are
Straight
straight people.
men, yeah.
Mind you, I know that all queer people don't have problem with people who are straight. They actually never have problem with straight people. So now you walk into somewhere where there are straight people, you agree with them, you understand the concept of their sexuality, hence you're comfortable around them. But here's the thing, you can't tell who is uncomfortable by whatever they think your sexuality is. So I feel like for people who are uncomfortable about other people's sexuality, and they should find better ways to manage it. You don't need to bully people, you don't need to throw hate speech, you don't need to make them uncomfortable in a gathering. You can excuse yourself if it's so tight to that your neck. Oga waka comot.
So really, my thought about that is it's funny that that's how you're seeing it in terms of when like queer people come into a gathering and that you feel like the straight people always give them attitude. Okay. So
like they want to be noticed so bad. Like they can scream things like auntie, it's
so now let me pick this. That is a Nigerian thing. That's a Nigerian thing.
Exactly.
First of all, that thing that you just
Fine
said
girl.
now is because they do that. Fine girl, even when a babe safe that's just going on her own. That's a Nigerian thing. That's one part of it, and that one everybody suffers it. Even a guy that comes that's buff like this, once he enters, somebody will say something like bouncer, something like Torino, and they will keep doing that. So that's not special to the LGBTQ community. No, that's just a Nigerian lifestyle that people just like to tease you and laugh at you. Me too. Like when you were saying that, people just watch you because of the way that you look, and then they already start to judge you.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people who have thought that it's like this pale, you are kind of swinging, they almost want to force me to be this person, even when I'm like, no, I'm not. They still want to shove it down my throat. Like they like you are. And that one is just, I mean, you're supposed to already know that you are who you are, regardless of what the world may think. I just generally feel like the fight for the LGBTQ community is not needed. There is no need to fight for it. Personally, I feel like if you're into that, you're into that. And that's all right. You will still drink water. Rain will still fall. Sun will still shine on you. You will still go to parties. But you just go to your own party, your own type of parties, or parties that you're accepted. Yeah. Trying to say that, I must accept. Okay, now the part that really gets me confused, that really, really confuses me, is when somebody comes out and maybe says, for instance, I identify as a kitten. Yeah. But I see you as a human being.
As a human.
I'm seeing you as a human being. I respect that you want to be identified as a kitten. I respect that. Yeah. But you cannot now fault me for how I accept it. I respect it, but how I accept it, you can't fault me and say, why are you not accepting it completely? So sometimes I might want to address you, and I wouldn't want to say meow. I want to say, bro, because naturally, that's just my default mindset. But you would take offense by my calling you and say, I already told you I'm a kitten. Bro, chill. It's baby steps. I will get used to it eventually, but just give me the time. But I don't think that the community gives, the general
people
public
the grace
to be able to, I've made a mistake. Let me adjust. A lot of people just take it so personally, and it's kind of like, it's a lot for people who aren't so used to these new communities and ideas. It takes a lot for us to get used to it. Just as generally, a lot of people also say like autism and ADHD, they have a short attention span, but you guys can give them grace for not being able to follow up, but you can't give straight people grace for not being able to follow up. Just
so generally, I feel like when it comes to identities, I feel like we as human beings, it's okay to judge people based off of what we think they look like judging
I don't think it's okay to judge people.
No, when I say judging a book by its cover, I mean, for instance, a man who dresses like a woman but looks like a man, like has big back, masculine, distinct masculine features, you automatically would just call him her. I mean, he. You understand?
But you can't be confused because some women look like that too.
If he tells you that, no, I'm a lady, I feel like if you respect the individual, right, you just want to refer to them in a way
Yeah,
that
that they will be comfortable. Yeah. That's why I said that generally I respect it. I'm not homophobic. I'm not anything. I have bare people who are like whatever they are. I have so many.
Real.
Yeah, I really don't even care about it. But sometimes I might just make a mistake. I usually don't make a mistake because I make conscious efforts to always, especially when I'm dealing with somebody who is, of that nature, I make conscious efforts to be like, oh, pay more attention.
Yeah.
But then it's hectic because I find that when I now go, I'm like, and that's not fair. It also makes me be like under tension, as well as the person I'm having to address to also be under tension. Like, in having to, it now makes me and I just feel like it takes away from my friendship with them. And I don't like that. It makes me feel so bad when I go home or when I'm driving. I'm like, I want to really have like a real where I'm not under so much pressure in how to handle you or how to say something to you. But then it's just a community like that
they are your friends. They are supposed to understand that above everything, you love them
genuinely,
and you don't have a problem with them. So I feel like they will be a little more lenient.
But that shit is like,
but having to put you in
in that place, it always
it's uncomfortable.
That shit is so stressful. But anyways, I feel like this conversation that we've had today is very enlightening, especially. Oh, okay. You wanted to say something? Yeah, go on.
So, there's been like so many stories of people who transitioned at such an early stage in their life.
Yeah.
We have people who transitioned at age 7. People who transitioned, age 7, age 13. All of these things. They already started hormone replacement therapy and all of that, right? What do you think? What are you going to do if you were a parent and you just guess that your kid is a certain way, or maybe your kid came to you and said, maybe I'm this. You understand what I mean?
I get what you mean, but
the kids actually go to their parents at that age. Of course, they would feel it,
but they can.
In all honesty, for people who have like gender dysphorias from like very early stages, you prefer more feminine things than masculine things, like maybe female dresses. You wear your mommy's wig, all those kind of things, right? But do you think it's okay for them to start taking hormone replacement therapy and change like their their
genitals? No,
not their genitals. I don't think you can even do that early because they're not fully formed.
I know, right? So
what do you think?
So personally, first of all, your parents already know,
right?
Before you even think that you are figuring,
already catch
your parents already know that it's like this child.
It's like you are doing like this.
You want to go to this other place. Your parents always know because they gave birth to you. They taught you everything you know. They've been bathing you and seeing you naked, so they know first of all before you even speak. Now, secondly, at such a tender age of 7 and whatnot, if you like to wear dresses sometimes, your parents can allow you to wear a dress or buy a dress that is like androgynous androgynous outfits for you at that time, at that age, so that when you now grow older, you can fully choose. I know that when I was in primary and secondary school, I don't know what sex is.
No,
I don't even know. When when I'm taking a shower and I'm washing my pom pom, I'm not feeling aroused.
The signal, like it doesn't send anything to your head.
I'm feeling the soap or the pepper of the soap. I'm not feeling. I'm not thinking about that. So clearly, I know that is not the time to introduce that. And even though your kid says, "Oh, I think I like," don't worry, you are thinking. It's a thought. Because when you grow older, it's honestly just a thought. When you grow older, you figure out that, oh, this is really what you want. And at that time, you and I, we sit down and plan and strategize how we want to go about it, how best it will, favor you and favor me as well. I'm not about to put any of my infant kids who haven't even yet known right from left, who haven't even figured out what their life or their ambitions are, and then I'll now go and be telling you, no, you are like a girl, or you are like a boy. No.
Some parents actually even selfishly
none of that
change the gender of their kids from the hospital, because I've actually seen a story of a lady who actually changed gender of her child, because when they were circumcising the boy, there was like an error, something like that. So she thought she was doing this to help the child. So the child actually lived a very straight girl's life, but was actually a boy. And always wondered why she was never connected to boys. Because, you know,
see what I mean?
Didn't like boys.
Because he's a boy.
She liked girls. But then
because he's
down
a boy,
there was functioning weird because she never even had a period. And then the shape doesn't even look like other girls' own. It was a lot. It was honestly a lot.
So now, doesn't this take us back to what I said when I say adults with their selfish reasons, selfish needs to try and, you know, program and reposition? I beg you, are not God.
My general take, I don't think that parents at all. I don't think that anybody below the age of, I don't even think 16 is a very good age to transition. So. You know why? Because even if you're someone who has like dysphorias, believe me, dysphorias come and they go. They come and they go, they come and they go. And eventually you're sure that this is what you want to do. You need to take enough time to know that, this journey, this is what I'm following. And that's why we have people who detransition, because you thought you were going to experience life in a certain way, only to realize that there are certain things, you know, this
you're not ready for it too.
And some people are just fluid. They feel like they want to identify as men today, and then they want to identify as women tomorrow. And then you now do bagbati. You rush your child.
And go and
fix
do
your
a
child in one box. And now your child feels inadequate. Doesn't make any sense. Anybody who wants to transition, take your time. Be sure. Try small. Maybe change your dress sense. Maybe wear more wig. Maybe wear makeup.
Maybe heels.
Express yourself in those type of ways that you want, but don't make permanent changes until you're sure.
Until you're grown.
You're grown and you're sure. And you're sure nothing below 18, not 16.
No.
Because many 16-year-olds have mental problems.
Yeah.
Yes, you only think you want it. You actually don't. You know?
Even some 18, to be honest. Some 18 too.
Truly.
They still, some 21.
The only reason why I'm saying 18 is
maturity
that mainly
just varies.
Men who want to transition into women after 18 years old, when you've experienced those changes, like, you know, there are different changes in the life of a man. There's when you like, the peak for people is usually when they're 18. You're like fully formed on the inside somehow, and then your shoulders start getting broader, your jawline, your beard. You need to transition before this time. If not, you'll be needing like all the female face feminization procedures, because most people used to rush. Is it that 18 years old? It must do. Yeah.
In my own opinion, even like an 18 years old,
mentally,
you have not even grown mentally.
I don't disagree.
The truth is, and you need your mental health. Your mental health is the real reason behind whatever transition or whatever decisions you make.
You're making.
Your mental health is really where everything starts, begins, and continues.
Yeah.
So it's like, if in your head you feel like you're a guy, but you're a babe in your body, you have to mentally be sure that that's exactly how you feel before you transition. Yeah. So in as much as your body, you might have broader shoulders, you might have this, you might have that, and you're like, oh, let me be quick and let me change it to a girl before I fully form. What if when you are now like 21, just like 2 or 3 years later, you're not like, okay, no, I don't like these girls' lives. These girls, they used to suffer. See the way man just they push out. See the way this man just took advantage of this guy, and then you want to change. So at 18, although I know that that's like a legal age, but in my personal opinion, I think that you should just get to 21.
Yeah. For girls, if you want to detransition, it's difficult because your voice will never change.
Yes, but they always pretend.
It will be but for the girls who take testosterone,
haven't you heard those guys?
They sound like men, and it will never go.
But haven't you heard those guys? They'll be like, yeah, and then they say, come on, nigga.
No, that's fun.
Yeah, that's so much fun. So that's what I mean, and that's what I mean.
I love it.
When I say what I mean when I say that. There's even no need for that, because they change their voice. They are always doing. Well, guys, it's been so amazing hanging with you guys on Just My POV. I've had an absolutely amazing time talking about this whole queer situation. And it's kind of like, I've now let it off my chest. So my friends, my queer friends, I watched it.
Now, be kinder, be nicer to her.
Just be a little bit.
She loves you. It's not.
I really do love you guys, but I don't know. It's just a bit tense to always have to deal with, say the
Yeah.
right words and not make a mistake. And Lord. But anyways, I hope that also if you're just watching this and you've also had a few questions, I hope we've been able to answer them for you. If you're thinking of transitioning and you're like a youngin, please, I beg you, please just wait a little bit longer. Just wait. And the wait is not because you're unsure of what you are doing. No, it's just so that you are very, very sure that you're not going to turn around in the next couple years. All right.
For real.
Until next time, guys. Mwah. Catch you later.